Welcome, everybody. We are here with our Thankful Thursday, and I have my two lovely daughters. I have my co-host, Rebecca Odell,
Hello.
and my youngest daughter, Natalia Brimhall, is joining me today. And we will be discussing our subject, appreciation for imagination. And it's Thankful Thursday.
Yay.
It's always a fun day when we get to talk about what we're grateful for. And I've had a wonderful, wonderful week of gratitude because I have my two daughters visiting me from out of state. I have my daughter, Michaela, who's going to college, and my other daughter, Natalia, who's there, and she is pursuing her education there as well, and looking to get into a school there. And so we are just happy to have them back home with us for a little while. And we had a really fun girls' day this week, which was just a blast with my granddaughter and Rebecca and my other two daughters. And it was I just had so much fun. That was just such a day of gratitude for me. We did so many fun things. What about you, Rebecca? Did you have a fun week this week? Did you do anything that filled your heart with gratitude?
Well, yeah, our girls' night did for sure. And we definitely used our imaginations.
Yes, we did many times. We did some soap carving, which took a bunch of imagination. I did that when I was a child. I used to soap carve all the time. That was, something we did. And so it just brought back such fond memories for me of just sitting there trying to create something. It seemed to be easier. I don't know if they've made soap harder, but it seemed to be much easier when I was a child to carve soap. So now it just flaked. Everything I tried flaked, but you came up with this amazing design, and Natalia came up with a couple of cool creations, and Michaela did too, and mine was pretty flaky. It was so much fun. So much fun. We played some games, and then we went really wild, didn't we? In our way, we went wild.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, so it was fun. So we're talking about imagination today, and that just brings up images of innovation and creativity, and just, there's this really neat quote that, what is now proved was once only imagined. So basically, every thought, every action that created something was once first imagined. And if you think about that, everything you see around you that we have, like our cars and our televisions and our washing machines and our clothing, even the wheel, everything that is here was once imagined.
Yes.
And if that's such a mind-blowing principle, if you stop and think about that for a while, that somebody had to imagine those things. So what do you think about imagination, Becca?
I think it's amazing. It's our source of creativity. It's our source of creation. Just like you said, everything that we know started from, imagining it or thinking it or dreaming it up. And I teach that a lot in meditation. Is a lot of people say, oh, I have a hard time meditating or connecting or seeing or visualizing, and I just say imagine it. It's just like daydreaming. You just make it up, play make believe in your head, and start there. Just imagine you're in a beautiful forest by a waterfall, and imagine that you can smell the breeze. I mean, just literally anytime we tap into that space within us, I feel like that's our place of power, because we can draw upon these energies and then bring them into fruition into the physical realm. We'll start receiving inspiration and being able to imagine, talking with God, or imagine being able to receive the inspiration that you need to create what you desire in life. So I think it's our power.
It is
Imagination is our
power.
source of power.
It is. I really think that when we use that imagination or that visualization, it's the first step to having it become a reality. And it's like you said, that's one of the first things we do when somebody comes to me for help, is we have them switch from the negative to the positive by having them visualize or imagine what it is they want rather than what it is they don't want. And so that's just such a powerful, powerful thing to focus on what it is they can have, what it is they truly want. And that's using your imagination and your visualization. Let me ask you a question just to start this off with, a fun question for both of you and for me. I'll think about it too. If you had $10 million just handed to you, no strings attached, what would you do with it? Use your imagination. And out there, while we're talking today, just think about what you would do with $10 million, no strings attached. Didn't have to pay taxes. It's just given to you just freely, no strings attached. What would you do with it?
I want to hear Natalia.
I would probably donate some.
Is there a certain cause that you are really like close to your heart, like a certain thing that you feel like world hunger, or maybe orphans, or is there certain something that you
probably orphans or like homeless animals?
Oh yes, animals are very dear to her.
Yeah.
So you donate to animal shelters and things like that.
Or orphans. Yeah,
orphans.
And then I'd probably take my parents on vacation.
Oh yes.
Yeah, and then I don't know what I'd do with the rest.
Oh, see, I think you should build an animal shelter or an animal hospital or something like that. I think I can see you doing that.
Maybe do like dog agility training. Like build like a whole huge agility training station.
A center like where people can come and do that. And, oh, that would be fun.
That's cool.
That would be an amazing agility training center.
Yeah, be pretty big.
That would be big.
You gotta make sure you have your setup, living for the rest of your life too.
You can build a nice house or place attached to it. Yeah, that would be neat. What about you, Rebecca?
Well, I would buy a retreat center in Costa Rica.
Yes, the retreat. She's been planning this retreat for years.
Have a scholarship program for people to come visit, so basically they could come for free if, people needed help, and help people that way. Definitely donate. I would donate some. What would I donate to? I would probably I could get behind hunger, or just creating more sustainability, teaching people how to live off the land, things like that. Maybe start an outdoor program for youth. I would have a couple places set up, like home bases around the world, so I could go travel and live my purpose. I would help everybody I know out, and just shower people with gifts.
Yeah, that to me sounds like you'd be living your true purpose in life. See, I would probably get a little stuck. Because there was a point in my life where I was kind of bedridden, chair-ridden, and I'm a dreamer. I'm a very imaginative person, and I've thought of this many times over the years. So I love to create businesses. I love to create in my head, just create things. I've created theme parks. I've created different businesses. I've spent this money 1,000 times over. So there's many, many things I could do with this money. So I'm kind of torn between the theme park I've created and donating it all to different charities. And then showering my family with, the things that they need, and people I know just with the things that they need. I would be so torn as to what to do with it. So I'd probably do a little of everything with it, but that theme park, would be so much fun. I'll tell you a little bit about my theme park because it's probably the most imaginative.
Cool.
I would just love to do, I just was trying to think of a way. My husband's always trying to figure out a way to bring business to our little communities up in this area where we live. So I would lay in bed and try to think, oh, well, what we need is a theme park, because theme parks bring business. And so in our area, it's really rich with a cultural heritage. We have a number of Native American tribes from our area. We have the Hopi, the Navajo, and the Apaches. And also we have a great pioneer heritage. And many people think that those don't get along, those heritage, but they do. They get along really well. And they actually, back in those early settler days, they helped each other, and it was a great thing. So I designed a theme park around that, and I just thought it would be a great way for all those people to display their heritage, and that we live, fairly close to an interstate. I thought people from the interstate would come and they would be able to experience the different heritage of these people. And I would call it Heritage Park or something like that. I don't know. I had some fancy name at the time. So there was that one. And it would have been so much fun. I had roller coasters planned around the theme and rides, like monorail type things, except that would go through the different, it just would have been so fun. And then but I do have a cause that is dear to me too, that I would donate to, and that is on the Underground Railroad Operation. Now I can't think of it. Operation Underground Railroad. Is that what that's called? I can't think of it off the top of my head now, but I really love what they do, and they are rescuing children and adults from the sex trade business. People who have never even experienced a childhood are just taken from a very young age, and there are millions of them that are just captured and sold as slaves into this sex trade. And it breaks my heart when I think of kids who've never even been able to enjoy a childhood, who've just been abused in such a horrendous way. And I just want to rescue them and maybe create a retreat for them where they can come and be healed and experience childhood and find joy in life. And so I've designed a retreat for them as well in my head. So that's something else that I could really get behind and do. So yeah, so those are a couple of things that I spent that money on in my head.
Nice.
Yeah. Besides spending it on my family and taking us on vacations to create more family memories, because that is so much fun.
Yeah.
Yes. So now let's talk about some other imaginative things we could think about. We talked about how everything that has been invented was once imagined. What modern appliance can you not imagine living without?
Lights.
What one? Lights? Lights that would be very difficult to live without lights. They do light our way. I think mine would be computers. I really like my computers. My computer is something that is almost attached to my hands. I use it daily, and I love that knowledge, that just source of knowledge and connectivity that I have through the computer, that I can talk and chat with people from all over the world. So along with that, the internet, just being able to reach out and find information at my fingertips and to talk to people around the world. So I think mine would probably be computers. What about you, Rebecca?
Well,
I know you can live off the land in the middle of nowhere. So what would yours be?
I can imagine living without all of it. But I highly value my vehicle because one of my favorite things to do is go on road trips where we go out and see the country, and I really enjoy being able to get there fast. I can imagine what they used to have to do on horseback, and
Oh, yes.
or just being limited to your two legs and having to deal with the elements all the time. So I appreciate vehicles very much because I love to explore the world.
Yes, and can you imagine not having airplanes to get to other countries? What they used to have to do to travel, to another country,
boats, ships, airplanes, vehicles, modes of transportation. That's amazing to me.
Yeah, so just the ingenuity of people to have come up over the years with the
or bicycles, motorcycles,
and any kind of transportation, just amazing inventions.
Mm-hmm.
So let's ask another question. We're just having fun today.
What about Natalia?
Oh, she said lights.
Oh, lights.
Did you have another one? Lights. I would think yours would be, this is attached to her hand nonstop. I don't know if she could live without that. That would be hard to live without, wouldn't it? Yeah, because that kind of allows you to be connected to your friends all the time and your family. So that would probably be hard. I think
we are all kind of attached to our phones nowadays. But that's what I know.
What that's done, even during COVID, for instance, when we were disconnected from everybody, our phones kept us connected. That was a way where we were able to do this, be on Zoom and connect through our phones or FaceTime or whatever. We were able to actually stay connected to people. Without that, can you imagine what going through that pandemic would have looked like without computers or phones or things like that? We would have been so totally isolated from people. That would have been, to me, that would have been horrendous. Just unimaginable. So I want to ask you, what was your favorite childhood imaginative game you used to play?
The only one that I really remember is when you would play a witch.
Oh yeah.
And then me and Nikhil would hide in the closet, and I would always cry.
You would cry?
I would cry.
I thought you loved that game.
No, I would cry because I was scared because I thought it was real.
Oh, how sad is that?
Oh, goodness.
So you thought I was a witch?
I thought you were a witch.
Oh, that's sad.
But now that I know it's fake, I think that's my favorite.
She wants to play it now.
No, I don't.
Well, you have to understand, we adopted her from a Russian orphanage when she was a little bit older. And so she had a hard time, I think, distinguishing, here's this woman, I guess her personality changed all of a sudden. Who is she? I guess, I don't know. I guess I should have taken that into an account.
You're like, oh, hide in the closet.
How funny.
The witch is coming.
Yeah. Well, we were having fun.
That's funny.
Yeah, we had fun. So, what about you, Rebecca? I know you were so imaginative as a little girl.
I think my favorite was when I would get to play with my brothers, and especially Dallin and we got really creative, and we would make potions and creations, and we would pretend we were magical wizards and witches too. And
boy, the witch thing again.
Superpowers. Yeah, I think having superpowers and magic is just so fascinating to a lot of children, and I think that's why a lot of our favorite movies and things, they have magic in it. And I think that's just so fascinating to imagine we have these superpowers. And so I don't know. I think that's fun. I think that's pretty common for children.
I remember Dallin telling me his favorite game he played was when we went to the forest, camping, and we would play king and queen or whatever. And I was the queen, and I would send you all on quests for me through the forest. And he thought that was so much fun.
Yeah, I love that. And I remember that's when we went hunting for tarantulas.
Oh, really?
Oh,
yeah, you had us looking for tarantulas under rocks and stuff.
Oh, wow.
I think that's why I love them.
Oh, okay. I don't remember that.
You don't?
I think I told you they were dangerous. So it's interesting what kids remember. Yeah, I'm a very imaginative person. So
yeah.
But I also have the health thing. So I would have to think of creative things to do with my kids where I didn't move. So see, I was the queen, or the princess, and I would stay still and send them out to go on quests. So,
no,
scavenger
I remember I remember you were out there with us. We were out in Payson or something.
It probably was he. Oh, it was probably out at Grammy's cabin. Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that was fun. Yeah. I know as kids, we had a lot of fun. We used to do, put on carnivals and things like that, but we used to also a lot. Now, this was back in a simpler day. We had television, I'm not that old, but, but there were only 3 channels. We had nowhere near all these streamings or cable or anything like that. There were 3 channels to choose from, and they'd show kiddie shows in the morning, and the rest of the day they might show Brady Bunch in the afternoon, but that was about it. So the rest of the day we were outside playing. So we did a lot of imaginative things, but I can't tell you the number of times we started digging holes and tried to get to China. And digging a hole is not fun, but when you're trying to get to China, it is sometimes. So we would dig holes and try to get to China. And we really thought we could do it. And so that was fun. And then we would try to break world records all the time. So we thought that was fascinating that people could, chew bubble gum for a long time and do that or whatever. So we would think we could do it. So we would, my mom bought a world record book. So we would look in the world record book and then try to break a world record. And we had a teeter totter, and the Brady Bunch had this one show where Bobby and Cindy tried to break the world teeter totter record. So we tried our hardest to break that record. I don't know how many times, but of course, kids lose interest really quick. And we'd make mud pies and bug hospitals or whatever. We really were imaginative and did a lot of imaginative things back then. So we had fun. I know you kids, the older kids, played hot lava, and I know that's a game a lot of people play, but you guys were really good at that. And Rebecca had a lot of imaginary friends when she was really young, and that kept her busy for hours. She was an only child for a while, so she had a lot of fun with those. And you and Nikayla would play Avatar and a lot of other things. Kids have so much imagination, and it seems like as we get older, we kind of put our imagination in the background, and we tend to deal with reality.
Yeah. I think it's really important as adults that we continue to tap into our imagination and be playful like children. I think it's so important because, like I mentioned earlier, I feel like that's our true sense of power, is this creative life force that's within us, our ability to create and manifest. I think that's why, art and ways to express ourselves is so important as well as adults, is tapping into, how can we express ourselves? Because I think our self-expression is ignited by our imagination and our desires and what we want to create in life. So
I think everybody has that need to create and express themselves. And if they don't, have an outlet for that, I think that is a cause of a lot of unhappiness in
I do
life.
too.
So if you have that ability to express and create yourself through imagination and expression, then it brings so much joy into life, just like you were saying. Lewis Carroll, who wrote Alice in Wonderland, of course, said, imagination is the only weapon in the war against reality. So many people live such a serious life, and they're bogged down by the reality of bills and, health and work and all those reality things that we deal with day in, day out. Imagination is the weapon in the war against this, Lewis Carroll said. Do you agree with that? I know you
Definitely.
said that. That's what you said, but.
Well, it's like I had a client the other day come in, and she's recently retired, and I said, oh, what are you going to do? And I said, what do you enjoy doing? And she says, well, I don't know. And I said, well, what do you love? And she said, I don't really know.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, if you could do anything, what would you do? Like, what brings you happiness and joy? And I mean, she seriously had just been living in this identity of, I'm a mother and I work, and, just now that she doesn't have that anymore, I had to remind her, well, okay, go back to your childhood. What did you love then? And I said, do you love art? Do you love going outdoors? What brings you joy? And I think it literally made her emotional, because she realized for the first time that she didn't really know what she enjoyed. And so I told her, well, you could just try things and see if you like them. She said, well, I've never really been artistic. I can't even draw a stick figure. And I said, well, you don't have to be artistic. I said, grab a piece of paper and just start throwing paint on it. See if you enjoy that.
Mm-hmm. That's one of the reasons I'm starting my art therapy class. It's a joyful art therapy for the young and the young at heart. And it's going to be for anybody from age 10 to 110. And it's just a way to get people to express their creativity through just using their imagination. You don't have to have any experience at all. And it's a way to just meditate and just think and create and just be. And it'll bring so much joy and peace to people. And I hope that people want to do this. It's just, I am so excited about this. And I hope people will be too. But I think there's so many people, like you're talking about, who have lived their whole life in identities of mothers, fathers, grandfathers, and then, or whatever. And then when those labels end, they don't know what to do with their life, because that identity has stopped being who they are. And so, but we're all more than those labels that we put on ourselves. We are all creative, expressive individuals who have a unique purpose in life that we can figure out what that is by meditating and expressing and creating and becoming that person and fulfill that destiny that we have. So we just have to figure out what it is our talents are and where those gifts lie within us. So, and we do that by, like you said, trying things out and figuring out where do our gifts lie? What is it we are supposed to be doing? We won't know unless we try.
Life is too short to be taken so seriously. I think, I believe in the best thing that we can do is to live in a high vibration. And the best way to get into that high vibration is being silly, laughing, being creative, having that joy, those things that spark your joy. And the most things that bring joy to us is, those creative moments of self-expression and, then sharing that with others. So I think, I'm very passionate about that too. And I know a lot of people would be interested in a class like what you've created. I think that's brilliant.
I love what you just said. I think that is so true. We are just about out of time. I want to end this by asking you both, if you had a perfect vision of what the future could be, either for yourself or for the world, what would that perfect vision be? What would your ideal world for you or for the whole world look like? Imagine that. Everybody out there, imagine that. What would your perfect world for you or for the whole world or both look like?
I want to hear Natalia's first. Because
Or
I already know.
do you want time to think about it?
I can go.
You can go. Okay.
Probably just peaceful. Nobody like fights or anything, like, and just like I don't know, just basically really peaceful and yeah, non-chaotic.
Non-chaotic. I love that. I think
Yeah.
I would want that too. I would like to live in your future. I would love that. I would love a world like that where it's peaceful and nobody fights. It's not chaotic. I would love a world too where there's some movies I've seen where it's really futuristic, where things are super green, super clean. People care for the earth enough to where it's beautiful and well taken care of. People, let's say, their yards are beautifully cared for and planted, and they care for the earth. They're not taking from it, they're adding to it. They're the cities are clean and green, and by green I mean they're
sustainable.
Thank you. They're sustainable, and then it's like you said, it's peaceful, it's not chaotic. People love each other. There's unconditional regard for each other. They appreciate each other's opinions and perspectives. And everybody can just learn from each other that way. We can walk up to each other and say, what has your life experience been? I would like to hear what you have experienced and learn from it, because it's different than my experience. And that way I can grow and I can learn too, and value that no matter who that person is, and let people be, and then say the drug problems have been solved and those people have been helped. And again, the people who are in sex trades and things like that, all those problems have been helped, and those people have been nurtured and healed. And just, I don't know, I want that to be healed. I want the earth to be healed and the people to be healed, and to have places for people to have that happen. That's my perfect world. I want everything. I think one day it will be this way. I can see this, and I think it will one day. I believe one day Jesus will come and that it will be this way. And I can see it. I can see it happening. Anyway, what's your perfect world?
Well, I think it's pretty common that most humans don't want pain and suffering.
Yes. Why do
However,
we have so much?
In my perfect world, I believe that we are creators and we have the ability to expand and go beyond our potential of what we know. So in my futuristic vision, people have more supernatural abilities where our form of communication is more from our heart space and more telepathic, where we're reading energy and where people know how to sense energy. They know how to use their discernment. They know how to tap into their intuition. They're connected to the spirit realm. They feel solid in their beliefs, and they have the tools to rapidly clear out any fear and any negative thing that's holding them in density. And if a person is in density and is in pain and is in fear, we gather around them and help lift them up and lift them out of that, rather than shunning them away to the side. I feel like you know, that incorporates all that you both have said also.
I was just going to say, it sounds like we go to yours first, mine second, then we end up at hers.
Yeah. And also, you know, we're not taking, you know, if we're taking from the earth, we're replacing what we've taken. We don't take things without replacing them. We understand the, you know, the cycles of, you know, how long it takes for the earth to create a tree, basically. And we understand the cycles of nature. We understand, like, we're living in as one
harmony.
Yeah, as one cohesive collective where we're in relationship with the plants, with the animals, with the seasons, with human beings. We're under, you know, we're having an understanding of different cultures because we could feel their hearts. We don't have to have this miscommunication with language because we're communicating from a higher place. I don't know. That's my vision.
I love it.
And we could still create technologies and be in communication with other life forms from other galaxies.
There you go. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Ah, that's wonderful. Yes. Well, and just as a side note, someday I want to get together with you and finish our imaginative book we started. That was so much fun. I really encourage everybody out there to get some imaginative projects going in your life. It is just so much fun to create, and it adds joy to your life when you create. Do some art, do some writing, do some invent something. I have a cousin who I was going to invite him and then I didn't, but he's an inventor. He invents toys. He invents, he draws, he has some cartoons on the internet that he's done. He's amazing. But he actually knows how to see it through. He doesn't just invent it. He actually does it and then puts it on the internet and goes to toy companies and gets them done. He's good at that, but I'm just saying it brings joy to your life when you do these things. So yeah, I challenge people to do that. And think of some of these things for fun. If you haven't really tested your imagination, try answering some of these questions. That's using your imagination. Just start there. Right. Just start answering some of these fun questions we've asked today. That's a start. So, and any closing comments from either of you?
I just have to say I agree with what you've said, and to everybody out there, how can you be a little more playful in life? You know, lighten the mood a little bit. Just put a smile on your face, be goofy, make a weird sound, make a funny face at a kid. You know, just
be a witch.
Yeah. Just play again, and you know, imagine what your life could be like if you were free from your fear and your pain, and I feel like energy goes where energy flows where intention goes. So the more you can imagine what your life could be like from a place of joy, I believe the more you'll start taking action on those things, that will get you there. So.
Oh, thank you. That is so well said. You always say things so beautifully. I love it. I agree with it. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. We will put this on YouTube and then on Facebook, and we will see you again in 2 weeks.
All right. Love you all. Thank you.